Barbershop with Q.
Oh, okay.
John, the magnificent.
I'm with that.
I was just trying to amp it up, you know.
Okay. Grimy, thirsty, bout it, you heard me. Grimy, thirsty, bout it, you heard me. Grimy, thirsty, bout it, you heard me.
Live at the barbershop.
Here we go.
Yes, good night. I wish I was on the cruise right now. Good life. Yeah, that's what they want. They just want a good life. They don't want ice. They want a good life. We will explain what that means to a lot of people. I'm going to tell you a quick story about something that was so funny. It's funny, but I guess to some others, it is not funny. So I had a friend of mine, co-worker of mine, said he had a relative of his that came from Guatemala. So relative came over and he said, yo, follow me to the store real quick. I got to go get something at the gas station. Followed him. He said, yo, just chill out right here on the curb. I'm going to get something in the gas station. When we come out, we'll go to the next spot. Said he came out. Cousin was missing. Said he's looking all over for the cousin. Can't find the cousin. Cousin moving. Now he's nervous now. He's thinking like, yo, somebody took him. Something happened. He started walking all over the neighborhood. He found the cousin. Said, yo, where'd you go? Why'd you leave? He said, ice. He said, ice. He said, yeah, a truck pulled up and said, ice on the side. So I took off. So I said, yo, that was the funniest thing that I heard. He said, at the time, it didn't ring to me. I said, ice. He said, yeah, ice. I said, oh, okay. So that's the topic for tonight. Ice. So, as you can see, I'm by myself, solo dolo. But I got my man Black IT in the building with me also. I got a few heads in here also.
If you were really solo, you wouldn't be able to do this, but it's all right.
Right? I mean, hey, what they tell you? Born alone, die alone. It's all good. I'm a trooper. I do it dolo all day. So tonight, we're touching the subject of immigration. 2025, Project 25, the new president we have. All these things that we see going on. A few of y'all that dropped that ballot box, and now it's coming to bite. So we'll touch on a few of these things now. And our special guest for tonight, there's so many names. So I like the first one. So we could say, ask Leilani, the lawyer. I like that one. But I'm going to bring my special guest in. I'm going to have her introduce herself, and we'll see if we come up with another one behind it. So, special guest for the night, answering all the questions that we need to know. Attorney at large, Leilani is in the building. Leilani, the lawyer.
Hi, John.
What's your last name, young lady?
Jimenez with a J.
Jimenez.
Yes.
That sounds familiar to me. I think Redman has something to say. More sicker than that. Jimenez.
Go easy now. Go easy.
Well, good night. How you doing?
Right. How you doing? I'm happy to be here.
Blessed to have you. Blessed to have you with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
A large Caribbean community around us. We are from the Caribbean ourselves, Jamaicans.
Yes.
And we got Trini, we got Haitians, we got everybody in the building. GT, Guyanese. Mm-hmm. So there's a few questions that a lot of our audience had sent in and they're trying to get answered. A few of them are being very shy because they're not sure if the phones is being tapped.
I don't blame them.
I said to a couple of them, yo, why don't you just call in? No. Just go ahead and tell them.
Right.
So I said, okay, I can understand where the nervous portion of it would come in. So there's a few intricate questions that were given, and we're going to touch those towards the end. If you have the time, I'll lay maybe one or two and see if we can answer those as well. So without further ado, before we get started, any information that you want to give out there for your services, for the future, clients or anything like that?
Thank you all so much for having me on again. My name's Leilani Jimenez with a J. I'm the managing attorney at Emmy Fast Law, and I represent so many Jamaican clients. My background's Jamaican. My family's Jamaican. Wagwan. My pop was,
Wagwan.
Way I do.
There it goes.
All right?
Watch when you get mad, though.
It's in there.
Definitely.
But, I'm happy to be here, and I love serving my Caribbean people, and I'm here to help. That's what I do.
Yes, we're blessed to have you because, again, we don't have these type of services within our community. And again, I ask people all the time, platforms like this, attorneys like yourself, support. We need that.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's run with the first question that was sent. See if we can answer those. How are they choosing who gets the Yeah, this is a good one because I was bewildered with that one myself. How are they choosing who gets deported? Is there a list or is it true that once you have had a prior arrest, then that's how they are picking each individual?
Yeah. The short answer is okay, they're not. Not anymore. Previously people with particularly serious crimes and people who, are a danger to the community at large, walked in and shot up like a liquor store or something. Like those people were technically the ones that they were facing removal, right? And likely to be a priority for deportation. Okay. So in short, right now what's happened is that they've expanded under Trump's new immigration policies. They've expanded this concept of, who's really a criminal. Well, it's not about that anymore. It's unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are misguided with this. And they're not just, trying to detain and remove or deport criminal immigrants, but they're removing anyone who's undocumented at this point. So, with or without a criminal history, if they know that you're undocumented, you're in trouble. And so that's why it's so important to, if you don't have the funds to afford an attorney, and some of them, you'd be surprised if you just go to a consultation, they'll do it for free and at least lead you the way that you might get some help. But there are nonprofits and stuff out there. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's dangerous for all undocumented immigrants right now.
So let me clear up something. Good night, Miss Gordon. What's good? Thank you for joining us. When we say undocumented, because sometimes it gets blurry. A lot of people that may have a green card, visa, these different things, are they considered undocumented once you're not a citizen? Or is it just the fact that you don't have a visa, you don't have a green card?
So once you have a green card, you are a lawful permanent resident in the United States, right? Okay. So you are now documented. You're technically not in danger of being removed unless you do something crazy and then you have to go through a court proceeding to have that removed from you, have your green card status removed from you. Okay. So I would say for those who have their green card, they can kind of breathe a little bit, still go and get naturalized because that's as safe as you're going to get. Because you can't, just if you left the United States and you left for too long, many green card holders know that you can't just leave forever, right? So it's a good idea. If you can get naturalized, then that's great. But to answer your question for undocumented immigrants, let's say you come to the United States. A lot of people come here and they're admitted with a visa, right? And, they overstay. This is a classic scenario I come across all the time. They come in, they're supposed to stay for 2 weeks and, they end up staying for 6 months. But if you're authorized only to remain in the US for 2 weeks and you overstay, now you're out of status. You have no status. Okay. And so technically you could say those people are undocumented. The clear one that everyone knows is when you walk across the border and you were never inspected. There's something called EWI, like you're entering without investigation. without interrogation at the border. Those are clearly undocumented immigrants. But there are other classifications for undocumented immigrants. So if you're here and you overstayed, technically you're undocumented. You don't have status in the United States.
Okay. So all right. So you come in contact with a lot of Caribbean people.
I do.
The number one thing that we are puzzled about is for some people that have been with a green card for 30, 40 years and never went and got what you said, naturalization.
Yes.
I don't even like that word, naturalization. It doesn't even make sense to me, but okay. Yeah. But why have you been here accumulating all these different things? You bought a house, you got a building, you got, car, business, all these things. And then now when this came down, you saw how many people I knew. It was like, because they heard this one still got sent back.
For sure.
And he had a green card. I had this, or I had that.
For sure.
So
it happens all the time. I mean, a lot of my Caribbean clients, and even I should say prospective clients, the ones who are like, well, they might not have the funds to pay to naturalize, but they're worried, right? They've been here for a long time, and some people came over on a visa, but they never bothered to try to get, as we would say, in the Caribbean, straight, right? They didn't try to like sort themselves out and get, their green card. So it's an issue, and it's probably one of the biggest issues within the Caribbean community are the people who come here and they overstay their visa, and then they fall out of status, and it's like, what do I do now? And we could get into that. That could be a whole other segment.
A whole other thing. So,
yeah.
All right, T, let me go to the second question, see if we can answer this for them.
Sure.
Right. Oh, yeah, okay. That was another big one, because what we've been seeing on the television, and unfortunately, our Haitian brothers and sisters have been heavy in the media.
Yeah.
So, is it really a widespread net that's being thrown out, or is it we're just looking for these particulars because I don't want to say, I'll just say it that way.
Okay.
I gotta be politically with everything. But go ahead.
Look, if we're being politically correct, immigration and its policies here in the United States applies to everyone. All races, all skin colors, everyone is subject to whatever, for example, President Trump's policies are. Everyone is subject to that. Okay.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I do. Is his wife up for?
It's funny.
We need to find out if she's straight. Just because she's married him, I don't know.
She's probably naturalized by now. I'm not sure what the first lady's status is, but I'm thinking she's probably naturalized for
we need to actually do an investigation, because he's been marrying a lot of people from certain places, and that would be considered the same thing, right? You marrying somebody for what they what they call it, Jim Squeaky. Okay, so
yeah. It's a tricky situation. It's definitely tricky. But what's happening now is that, the argument is, well, you removed, for example, temporary protective status or temporary protective stay from, our Haitian friends, that like there was limitations on that, or the Venezuelan friends, right? But what happened, to like Ukrainians or, and there's protections potentially for like our South Africans. And there's issues where obviously there's different colors and different people and all that in South Africa. But there is an issue over there right now where you have apparently the Black Africans are, attacking. And this goes back to apartheid and all of that. I didn't plan to talk about that tonight. But I will say this, there's a special protection for our lighter skinned friends in South Africa. Part two.
So
there's some concerns in the community at large. I think in the minority community and the people who are brown and Black people, and we can see it. And you read the tea leaves, and it's just there's that disparate impact that we're worried about.
part 2 for sure, because that, you see, it has to be put on the table at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, okay. Third question.
Okay.
I'm moving on fast.
We'll take it easy.
I can talk.
I wasn't ready.
Okay. So this was another one. So I had a few friends that this applies to. So it's saying if you had a prior gun charge and you were deported, is there any way of returning to the United States?
Yeah. I mean, so it's complicated because what kind of gun charge are we talking about? Like, did you just have it on your person in a place that you weren't supposed to have it? You know, did you like run in and were people around you and, you know, someone else shot up the place or something? You know, it's all over, right? And it just depends. It depends on the situation. You have to read through it. You know, there is a way, in short, depending on the situation, for you to come back in, and it's through a waiver, right? Okay. But you know, it's just so far and wide depending on the situation for each person who would have a gun charge. And yeah, but it's called the 212H waiver for basically criminal charges, criminal issues. There you go.
Yeah, that's definitely part 2.
It's a challenging like question because again, every single case is different. And really it's also up to officer discretion. And, you know, do they, you know, part of it is, do they believe the person that's sitting in front of them and what they're saying? If they're, you know, it's a whole thing. So
is it similar to a parole board? Similar? Where there's more than one person that.
I guess you could say that. I mean, it's typically, from what I've seen, as one officer if you're trying to consular process back into the United States. And you know, they might ask you some questions. They're deep diving into your application. And so if, you know, they don't believe you and, you know, they could make that decision and deny your application, or they could ask you to bring additional information into another interview. That's like giving you a lifeline, which is great, but just depends.
Next question.
Okay.
See what they're saying here. Deportation of legal immigrants waiting years for appointments now being deported. What can they do?
Okay. So something I want to like clear up. So this whole illegal, legal immigrant thing that unfortunately this administration has kind of brought into the spotlight is extremely misleading. Immigration in and of itself and the proceedings are typically in civil courtrooms. They are not criminal proceedings, right? You're filling out an application and it's going through, if you're even being removed, you're in a civil proceeding, right? So that means that calling immigrants illegal is technically incorrect, unless there's this exception, they've left and then they've illegally re-entered the United States. Then you might have like a federal proceeding in a criminal court, and that's when they have criminal charges brought against them. Or, you know, it's very minute situations. So there is no like illegal immigrant. Now, for this particular question, I think you were asking, or I'm sorry, it was about the if they're here and they have, like, for example, an application pending, right? And so if they do have an application pending, I mean, this is the part where you probably should be walking with your receipt notice. Typically, when you apply to something, for some type of relief, you will receive something called a receipt notice, and it's a good idea to have it on you. Right now, there's a lot of, it appears to be racial profiling going on, and people are getting deported, removed to, you know, unfortunately, Guantanamo Bay and being held. And just, you know, back to their countries. And, you know, there's mistakes that's being made. So it's a good idea to have that, and also memorize your attorney's phone number. And always memorize your attorney's phone number, and so that you can reach out in that scenario and, you know, seek help.
I've even had a good friend of mine from Puerto Rico the other day. I think his friend was from Colombia, I believe. They pulled him over in Hialeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling my friend, walk around with your passport or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't know. Is that a good thing to do? Because what happened now when you lose that? Or
I mean, it's a form of ID.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's a packet. There are attorneys right now in law firms that are kind of like having, prepping and preparing a packet with like your application or your receipt notice, everything about you that could potentially dissuade an officer from basically taking you in and off the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And holding you against your will, right? So I don't know that there's like one single thing that you can kind of like present to say no, unless you're a U.S. citizen or you have your green card, right? But the best thing that I would suggest, at least up front, is if you have like a pending application, at least it's good to have an ID and also have your receipt notice to show that, look, I do have relief pending in the United States right now.
Okay.
So, and also, I mean, you can stop me if I can go on.
God, we need all of this.
So, obviously, one of the big things right now and the biggest concerns is that there are ICE raids going on all over the United States, right? Yeah. So, like, if an ICE officer shows up to your house, one of the biggest things is, one, if you're inside, first ask if they have a judicial warrant, not an administrative warrant issued by ICE, but a judicial warrant from a judge, right? And have them slip it under the door to make sure that they actually can, come in or search or bring you, away. They need to have that warrant. And also, there's like a whole list here of things that you could do, but the biggest thing is like, this is going to sound messed up. Don't open your door until you're sure that they're actually they have the correct warrant and that. And don't run either.
You know what it is? When you said that, I know a lot of these ICE officers are playing the training day game, like Denzel did with the Chinese menu and said, "We got a warrant." Let me see the warrant.
Right. So there's a lot there. It's good to know your rights, and I hate to sound like rehearsed, but it's a good idea to go and speak with your attorney, or at least meet with one for free, and like get a consultation and talk to them and see, if there's like they have this thing called like a know your rights packet, or just know your rights when it comes to ICE. That's the biggest thing. That's the hottest topic right now, out there. It's like, oh my goodness, can I be apprehended? The short answer is, if you're here without status, if you've overstayed your visa, or if you cross the border without documents or without, investigation, yes, you can be apprehended by an ICE officer. You're out on the street,
Well, there was a few cases. Now I have some friends in Arizona, and they were telling me that officers out there, some of them will just look at you. That's what they're telling me. They just look at you. If you're Hispanic, Black, or anything of that nature, they'll just look at you and say, "You look like you don't belong here. Let me see your ID."
Yeah.
You see?
I mean, they could do what they want. They can ask you. They have expanded, unfortunately, and that's why there's the concern about racial profiling. But they've expanded it from, does this person, have like a serious like criminal history or something there? Why would prioritize basically removing this person from the US versus just someone who's an undocumented immigrant in the US. And now they're looking around. They're not targeting our light-skinned friends as much, because it's harder, I guess, maybe to tell.
Don't say light skin. Don't say light skin. I'm light skinned. You make it seem like they looking for me now. Our Caucasian friends.
Our Caucasian
light skin. I'm light skinned.
Right. Our Caucasian friends are not really, So I mean, that's what it looks like, at least. Yeah. I'll say that.
Go ahead. Oh, you're light skinned too, man.
Well, they don't like the immigration attorneys, so we gotta be prepared.
We got a Drake ticket.
Oh.
Oh, she's a Kendrick fan.
Oh, who, me? Oh, I
No.
definitely me.
I said we got a Drake ticket. She said, oh, not me.
No. I'm actually a Drake fan. I am a Drake fan.
Up until last week.
Y'all are
Prior
killing
to
me.
the Super Bowl.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. I cannot.
You got another one that child thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is off of Instagram. AP asks, what if the green card expires?
What if I'm sorry. I didn't
But
hear
what
that.
if the green
Yeah, what if
card
the green card
expires? Shout out to AP.
Once you're a lawful permanent resident, your green card expiring, technically you should have it on you and you shouldn't let it expire. But your green card expiring, it doesn't affect your lawful permanent residency in the United States. In order for that to be taken away from you, there needs to be a judicial proceeding where a judge determines that, for whatever reason, you're not allowed, they're going to revoke that status from you. So with regard to like the green card, it's important. You should definitely, especially in this
climate,
it's a good idea to, because you don't want to give them a reason to take you in for one reason or the other, even if it doesn't make sense. So you want to renew that, and it's through the I-90. You just kind of like fill that form out and send it in. Try to do it with an attorney. please, my Caribbean community, please.
Man, don't get your brethren for filling out for you.
Oh gosh, no. But yes, you would request a renewal for the green card, but you're going to be fine as far as your status is concerned. But you want proof of that, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another one.
Oh no, that was it.
Okay, all right. So we had one more. We had a few. So let's go over the next one. Next one
Next
up
question.
is DACA.
Yeah, DACA.
Right.
Right now, DACA is caught up in litigation. But initially, obviously, many people probably remember President Obama kind of initiating that process for children, I guess, who didn't choose to come here on their own. They came into the United States maybe with their parents, and they went to school. They're good standing, I guess, residents, you could say, of the United States. And so it's a temporary protected status in the United States. Doesn't mean that you have, lawful permanent residency, but, you can technically work. You can get a work authorization. You would need, if you need to travel, you need permission to leave the United States and to re-enter the United States with DACA. But it's a deferred action, basically saying that the government, the DHS is saying, we're not going to actively pursue removing you from the United States. That's what the protection was from President Obama. And so because you guys didn't have a say in the matter, you're innocent, and you were children when you came here. But it's just saying that you can work, and maybe we'll give you permission to leave the US and come back on like a trip, but that's it. You're kind of in limbo. So but that's basically what the DACA program is all about.
So let me ask a question now. And since we talked about the family, the child, parents, and stuff like that. So prior to this, we've seen it before. Like an incident just happened in Miami about 2 months ago, where I believe the wife was from Mexico. Husband, I know he's a U.S. citizen, but he was in the army or the military, basically. The wife was sent back. The daughters stayed, and of course the husband, he's still here but she said she was supposed to get I guess grandfathered in a way or something like that, due to the fact that she's married to a military person, and she filled out the same application. She was waiting on her application status, and she said she kept calling in, and they kept telling her she still has to wait. And then all of a sudden they just popped up now telling her you have to go back. With a situation like that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, well, I was just saying, technically it's the military program, parole in place. It sounds like that you're saying like the husband was like in the military in the US. Right. Yeah. So the parole in place program, It does allow for like, moms and spouses to basically go have a path of adjusting status. Adjustment of status is a fancy way of saying getting their green card, right?
Okay.
I would have to actually review that case and research, for me, to get into it and research and make sure I give the right answer on that.
Right.
But it doesn't sound, it's not adding up unless maybe something happened. Did she commit a crime? Did something, like what would have caused something like that for her to be accelerated and basically removed from the US when she had a pending like application for relief? So
I think she was here couple of years, like 12 years or something like that, 12 years or something like that, because that's the number one thing I think a lot of people are worried about is that the kids being separated, and then for them to make the statement that, well, if the kids got to go, the kids got to go. Listen, the kids, from what we understand, birthrights, citizenship, how you switch the game up, it's but you know how the game works.
But, and that's under litigation too.
and that's the thing, Again, there's a lot of legal red tapes, and it's gonna come back to bite because they've even swept up U.S. citizens, born U.S. citizens, in the raids and stuff like that as well. You know what I mean? So, and with that, I'm hoping that a lot of them are suing. But what's the next one?
Yeah.
All right. What can be done to help people on the TPS? What is TPS?
Temporary protected status.
Okay. Not get sent back to countries in turmoil and civil unrest.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is asylum right now, just off the bat. Like, those people are protected because they're basically their countries, like you said, are in turmoil. Like it's not safe for them to be there, and their government's probably having a tough time controlling the turmoil. So that's why, I guess, at least in the previous administration, and they extended this just like with DACA, this temporary, like you're in limbo. You're allowed to stay here. You don't have a status, but you can stay. We won't actively pursue you to try to remove you from the United States. We're giving you like a safe haven. And then after that, you'll take whatever steps you need to take to try to get actual status and legal status in the United States. So that's basically what this is. So if you have President Trump basically removing that temporary protected status from them, then now it's like, oh, we're actively going to pursue you and try to deport you, basically remove you from the United States. So those people now technically they should try to seek asylum, because that's the whole purpose of asylum is, you're coming into the US and you are afraid, you have a subjective fear to return to your home country because it's in turmoil. You don't want to die. You don't want to be harmed. So, the Ukrainians or whoever, like that's the next natural route that they would go, I would say, is asylum. Yeah.
I doubt if this administration really cares, because we've seen a lot of Haitians get sent back. So there's the answer for that one. But,
I mean, and it's also like, I hate to say it, but like reaching out to your lawmakers, going, to the Congress people and like showing them like this, we're here as a collective, a lot of the people from the same place because of the dangers of that country. And, so it's really just creating that, shedding light on that issue, and that, not getting basically ran over by new policies.
See, this is the main thing here. See, there's a few of us that are not caught in the matrix, right? You're not in the matrix. I'm not in the matrix. I see a bunch of us that are not caught in the matrix. See, that's the whole chess piece. The board is laid out. These are the different pieces that are placed on the board, and they're trying to figure out now, how can we shift the focus? How can we get these people not to see this and see that and see this? See, because again, so many people are blindsided by social media and all these different things that when it comes to good information like this, they won't even come get it for free from you, right? Right? Because I'm sure right now you have a few people that are sitting there and they're like, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go down this stuff. Right. No, you need to sit and get all the information, right? Because again, one of the main problems that we have in our community is that we lack information.
Yeah.
We don't even go out and try and get it even when it's free. You know why? Because it's much better for me to see the ratchet stuff over here that's entertaining than for me to sit here and get this information. You understand? And that's the problem. That's why even with this show, we try to entertain and educate at the same time to kind of keep that balance going. Because if we just sat here and just said, well, you must go get your green card. And then you have to go get oh, man, you could just imagine.
It's just first-time home buyers. Like you got to sit there for 8 hours to get that certification.
That's the disjustice in our community. Yeah. That's the main problem. You got another one?
Hold on one.
First of all, I'm gonna tell everybody out there: anytime an attorney is giving you something for free, I'm in there.
Writing it down.
She said, "Yo." Before she opened the door, I was at the door like, "What up?" She's like, "Why you always at my office?" All right. All right. Where can the individuals go and get information and help? They don't have the funds to afford an attorney to help fight their cases now. So we spoke about that earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's all different types of like nonprofits out there, Catholic charities. You guys can go on ALA. It's basically like a collection of where like all the immigration attorneys, we go and get our information, but they also have the list of like nonprofits and different organizations that you can go potentially. Some of these nonprofits, they do something called like low bono, where the fees are supposed to be much lower than like your standard attorney fees. There are other attorneys themselves that do low bono. Like, you know, I myself, I do low bono sometimes, depending on, you know, I'm just saying, a little plug. And, you know, of course, like I said, different organizations, nonprofits, they'll typically at least try to guide you in the right direction. Yeah.
So my man Pro, he moved out?
Pro?
Bono!
Oh my gosh. I can't. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying. Give me credit. I walked right into that one. That's all right.
You got me too. I was like, who?
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
What happened to him? I don't like that dude, though.
You know, look, we do our best.
Everybody got to pay their bills. We understand.
Right. There's not part to it. No, but we do our best. And a lot of attorneys offer payment plans. So
everybody got to pay that school loan back. We understand. Okay, go ahead. What's the next one?
Here it is.
All right. Why does it seem that Cubans are protected in every way from being deported?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Now, I want to preface this by saying I don't practice like, you know, Cuban adjustments and all of that, but I'll give the best answer I can for this. It goes back to basically the Soviet Union issues, communism, and all that. And, you know, Fidel Castro was one who wanted to basically implement that communist structure, and they still have it today in Cuba, I'm pretty sure. So the United States wasn't for that, and they basically extended measures just after the Cold War to bring kind of like, it's a political move, it's political chess, to bring Cubans over and say, we are a democracy and we are going to, you know, extend the beautiful United States of America's jurisdiction to you if you can get here. And so they implemented the Cuban Adjustment Act in 1966. And a lot of people are more familiar with the wet foot, dry foot policy.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
Implemented in 1995 by President Clinton, right? So Now that actually, ironically, it was ended by President Obama 2017, but basically it was an extension of the Cuban Adjustment Act to, welcome Cubans over, to kind of like diminish and take away from that communist type structure. And, in the most lay way that I can possibly say this, like shut Cuba down. Like basically, they're a threat, they're working with Russia, let's shut them down. And so they were trying to bring people over, and that's kind of why you have like this feeling of favoritism towards the Cuban community. But that policy is now ended, but they still do have the Cuban Adjustment Act, and they can still adjust if they arrive like within 1 year. So adjust meaning like get their green card or apply for their adjustment. So. But that's a little bit of the history of it. And it's really just like political chess. And that's what it was back in the 60s.
So this is just me speaking.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it is that Cuba helped other countries as well, right? Like Haiti, different places. And it's just so funny how the policies don't apply to the same. We're in the same Caribbean, right? The policy, and mind you, again, what we understand, over in Haiti, somewhat similar, dictatorship, Papa Doc, all of that in between, but yet still, we don't see the balance.
I think with that, at the time they were, like I said, it's political chess. Like where's the spotlight? And so America chose Cuba. I mean, I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. But it was like, this is what move can I make right now that will, as America, that will kind of like bring favoritism and so not favoritism, but like favor and protecting, I guess, Cubans when they land here. That was something that they decided to do, and maybe Haiti unfortunately just didn't meet their standard of granting that.
But they love Haiti though on the backside. It's a beautiful place on the backside for Royal Caribbean and all these different ships to go land and enjoy life. You know, there's a lot of companies out there. So what I'm saying is, if that's the case and it's so horrible and so this and that, why are all these companies going there and setting up shop and different things of that nature? If that's the case, then play fair. Play fair.
Yeah.
When they come, give them the same situation. If that's the case, you know what? Part 2. You know what I'm saying? Part 2. Okay. Go ahead. That's it. About to play some Drake in this building. You saw Drake. Drake was like,
I'm not mad at it. I'm a fan.
wow. I'm gonna test out if you're a real Drake fan.
Okay.
Caravana.
See, I'm bad with song titles.
I see, you don't even know.
No. Here's the thing.
That's Carnival in Canada.
If you were to play the song, then I'd be like, oh yeah, and I'd start, kind of rapping the lyrics. But I'm so bad with song titles. I just don't know.
I'm gonna make the excuse for her. She's very busy with a lot of legal stuff. She only listens to Drake while she's working, so she can't focus on it as much as she needs to be. She just know 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh no, I know a lot more than that.
Stuff like that.
Right.
A minor.
Oh gosh. Oh no, that's awful. No, don't want it.
Oh man. Oh, thank you so much for tonight, man. Listen, I need to definitely have you as a returning guest.
All right.
I had a ball.
Yes.
Getting all the information and everything like that. And when you see what's his name, tell him, hit me up when he get a chance, please.
I feel like I don't want to walk into whatever you got set for me right now.
So she had to do it. She had to think about it first. She's like, yo, see, they in the building. It was like that. I say pro bound now. Tell him to call me. Everybody out there, they was, the rest of the audience, it was like this. They was like, she about to say it's free. She said, low bonus. I'm like, oh.
Yes, low bonus.
But listen, all right. So now, moving forward,
okay.
I want to have you as a returning guest because, again, what I would like to find out, information-wise, saying, for instance, you did get swept up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're sent off to like Guantanamo Bay or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe this is from watching all these TV programs. I just want to know how real this stuff is. Okay, if that happens. Do you get the one phone call and all these different things, or you just got to wait it out until your name is called or your paperwork comes up? Because we've heard of all these people that are citizens that got swept up also, and their families waiting to hear from them.
Yeah. This is new, right? Guantanamo Bay is historically or was historically used for suspected terrorists to the United States, right? And so now what President Trump has done is basically, that Guantanamo Bay was closed. President Biden closed Guantanamo
I remember.
Bay.
Yeah.
President Trump decided to reopen it because what was happening was they were deporting so many people, and the other countries, Colombia, Mexico, they were like, you can't just come and bring them and drop them off in the middle of the night. Right. So it would seem that because that these countries weren't willing to just accept them on a whim, and that they needed to be, there's protocol to follow, President Trump said, okay, we'll just reopen Guantanamo Bay. And now Guantanamo Bay is not, it is a place that you don't want to be. We've got, and I can't speak, I haven't physically been there, but what I've read is this place is it's not the place you want to be. It's a lot of
yep.
But I can't speak to it with regard to immigration and what that looks like, because I'm not sure what this administration is doing. Right. Typically for detention centers, which is, I'm not sure if Trump is aiming to do that at Guantanamo Bay. It doesn't seem like he's doing that. But you would be able to speak to an attorney. They would be able to, represent you in whatever proceeding. But, here, I'm just not sure. That's something I would have to look into. I haven't, thankfully, had any clients gone to Guantanamo Bay. So but that is something that it's definitely a very scary thought. Yeah.
One last question before we go. So for those that had their green cards for years, it's up to status and everything, and now they want to apply for citizenship.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, you have your green card. You can have it 30, 40, 50 years. We've definitely had people come through to ask, what happened? Oh, I just didn't feel like it. You can definitely apply to get your citizenship. That's, you'll probably get a reduced version of the naturalization exam. As long as you don't have any crazy criminal history, then you should have a smooth process to naturalize.
I lied. I got one more question.
Oh, okay. Hit me. Go easy now.
Oh, no. All right. So is it recommended to have dual citizenship?
I would say so, personally. This is personal. I would say so. Absolutely. Just, I don't know what your aspirations are, whoever it is that's considering it. But, I think it's always good. Now, keep in mind that America, as far as I know, they require you to report your taxes, depending on, if you're making money in another country and all of that. But as far as those things, now, I am not a tax attorney. So, but that's my understanding. So,
hide some money.
I didn't hear that, John. I am so sorry.
You heard. My bad, I'm broke.
But yeah. So
I'm not worried about it. About to get rid of the IRS anyway.
a lot of movement. Yeah.
They give him my DMX voice. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So definitely would recommend getting the dual citizenship if you're interested.
Okay. What happened? Who's that?
Jerry West.
Oh, Jerry West. What's up? Okay. Elon should go to. Yeah, we know where he's going. Straight to hell. But okay. Any other questions before we go? Anyone else? Hey, So Chill. I know you got something out there. Yashika Bailey. Miss Gordon, I know you got something. I know you got something, Miss Gordon. Stop playing games. Okay. Neptune. All right. Once going twice. Jerry West was good. Facts. All right. So, listen. One more time for the information where you can, anyone that needs to reach out to you. I would suggest anyone that's, you got any long-term situation you haven't updated or anything of that nature, please get in touch with Leilani ASAP. I'm gonna have her give her the information out. So go ahead.
Yeah, so you guys can reach me. My website is www.immifastlaw.com.
Oh, woo! You know how Caribbean people are.
All right, let me slow it down.
Hold on now. What she said? Pass the pen. Hold on.
Let me
slow it down. We're gonna put it up afterwards anyway.
Yes,
but go ahead.
So IMMIFASTlaw.com. That's immifastlaw.com. And you can just email me at Leilani@immifastlaw.com. It's pretty simple to reach out. I do have a few phone numbers, but if you go to the website, you can actually see the 800 number. It links right to me. You can call anytime, and maybe not 12 at night, but usually I'm working around the clock every day. So feel free to reach out.
I'll do it like what's it do? Al or whatever his name is. We tell the people call anytime. I forgot what the guy's name is, but yeah. All right, so there's a site right there for everyone up there. Grab your glasses, grab the pen, grab the pencils, write it down. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is where you go. She is the attorney at large. She's the one to go to. Okay. And she got the Drake music in the background for you. Okay.
We'll play some Drake next time. You gotta test me differently, not with the song.
Part two, we're doing that definitely. I'll be like this: immigration. What's that playing? All right, so hold on. Was it 188?
Yes, 888. Yeah,
missing an 8 right there. You gonna have these people talking about, hey, Mikala, the number I got through. 188. Okay. So let's spell it out for everyone. 1-888-343-2792. That's where you can find her. Okay. So Leilani, thank you once again. Oh, thank you so much. Our community owes you $1 million. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I know you're a very, very busy person. So for you to take the time out to join us tonight, thank you so much. May God bless you in many ways. And always giving back to the community is always something good, regardless.
Thank you so much for having me. There was no way I had to come on. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
That's what we want to hear. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. For everyone else out there, thank you very much. Once again, you can find us on all the platforms. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit the notification bell, subscribe. Oh, and remember, get off the couch and go out the world and be somebody. You heard? Thank you very much. Live at the barbershop every Friday nights, 9 p.m. Be there or be square. Leilani.
John.
Watch it.
All right, y'all. We are out. See you guys next week.
Go out in the world and be somebody.